Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys watching today's video. And guys, today we're going to be talking about a lure category that doesn't get fished much this time of year. And that's a red squarebill crankbait, some type of a red pattern like this or a crawfish pattern. I got some tips and advice I want to share with you guys specifically for November fishing with that. I think it's going to help you guys catch some good ones. Real quick, guys, I don't know if you saw yesterday the announcement that I partnered with Tackle Warehouse now. I'm not with Baitworks anymore. You guys are familiar with that. And I'll be linking all of my products to Tackle Warehouse if you guys want to use the links that I put in the description here. That's a really good way to support the channel. And the main Tackle Warehouse link is in the on my YouTube homepage for The Fishing Teacher. You'll see it on there. It says Tackle Warehouse. If you want to bookmark that link, and if you need any tackle, you might as well use that link if you want to help the channel out. That'd be much appreciated with that. And also the lures I'm going to talk about today, I'll put the Tackle Warehouse link in the description if you want to try one. So much appreciated for that. Okay guys, I think most people, when they think in terms of squarebill crankbaits, you know, it's a shallow water pattern out there. And a lot of people think of like the black and chartreuse colors like this, which are really good, or, you know, some type of a shad pattern. These are like the two favorite colors that people throw in a squarebill crankbait. And I'm gonna guess probably, I bet 95% of the people out there, this is the only two colors they use, is some type of a bright chartreuse side or shad pattern out there. But guys, there is a window, and this window exists in two different times of the year. It exists in the early pre-spawn, like when the water temperatures in the low to mid 50s, say March or something like that. And again in November and December, where you can take these squarebill crankbaits, and if you switch to a crawdad pattern, like either like this fire craw here, or this is the E2 color right here. This is E2 and this is fire claw. These crawdad pattern crankbaits, once that water temperature starts getting back down into that same range it was during the pre-spawn, which in most parts of the country, it's November or December, they switch over to these color patterns. Now, I don't really, there's not like really an explanation that I can give you, excuse me, excuse me guys, there's not really an explanation I can give you on why they make this change. I think personally it's a combination of the shorter daylight hours, and you have a different sun angle on the water, and you got different water temperature. So it's almost like when you have these variables, these environmental variables like that, sometimes the bass, they change up their mood and personalities in ways that we don't really understand. Now, somebody could intellectualize and say, well, they want to know in November, December, they want a crawdad pattern crankbait more because maybe they're feeding more on crawdads. That may or may not be true. I think fish are opportunistic. I think they go after anything. But to me, it's more about the light penetration in the water and how the color reflects off the sun or the lack of sun. And that's why I think these two colors are some of the best colors for me in November and December. I switch to them. As soon as that water temperature starts to get down, like in the low 60s, this is what I throw in November and December until that water temperature gets like below 53, 54. Once it gets below 53 or 54, I move more to the jerk baits and I don't throw the crankbaits as much. The main thing with this, when you're throwing the crawdad patterns in the fall time of the year, guys, you've got to concentrate on rock. Now the rock can be any different size. It can be something as small as a gravelly rocky bank. It can be baseball size rock. It could be football size rock. It could be bluffs and boulders. But bass, for whatever reason, and again, it may be because crawdads live around the rocks more, but rocky structures are where you want to fish the crawdad patterns. I don't do that good on them if I'm cranking wood. Say, if there's laydowns there or stumps or something like that, for some reason they like the shad or the black and chartreuse a little bit better. But this is my rock color that I go to, and specifically riprap, guys. These things are killer in riprap if you have the right conditions. Now, the right conditions for the crawdad pattern is a combination of the right water clarity and the right sunlight or lack of sunlight conditions. I have found that you have to have water visibilities in that 2 to 5 foot range for this to work. On a crawdad pattern, I don't do that good in the real stained water like I would on the black and chartreuse. So ideally 2 to 4 foot is the best, but it will work in a little bit cleaner water if you have lower light conditions. If you gave me the perfect scenario to throw the crawdad squarebill crankbait, I would say give me 3 foot of visibility, and give me a cloudy day with some wind. If you have those combinations and the water's in the 50s and 60s, you will catch a lot of good fish on the crawdad pattern here. And back to the riprap, guys. Riprap is one of the top covers that I like to fish this time of year with the red squarebills. You know, if you have riprap that has, again, water visibilities, you know, in that range we're talking about, catch a bunch of fish on it. Usually right off the bat, it's really good, and it'll last all day long if the water is a little bit, you know, more down towards that, you know, 2.5 foot of visibility, and you have, you know, some lower light conditions like clouds. But anyway, guys, give them a try. They don't get fished a lot. Again, this is the Megabass E2 and the Fire Claw. I'll put the Tackle Warehouse links in the description if you guys want to try them. I just think it's just opens up another option for you. I mean, one of the things you'll find out about bass fishing is that sometimes just using something different, it makes all the difference in the world. Even if it's a color that you don't think the fish are going to hit, bass get conditioned to colors that they see a lot from the predominant number of anglers out there. And a color adjustment is one of the simplest and easiest and most effective things you can do to catch fish, especially if the lake's got a lot of heavy fishing pressure in it. So hope it helps out. We'll talk later, guys.